Hi everyone, Stephen Alexander here from Politically Impaired. Today we're going to be talking about Trump and why leftists seem to have a problem with him in the first place. So if you're into that sort of thing, stick around because here we go. Now, a lot can truly define America as a whole, but one common theme throughout this, well, since its inception, depending on who you ask anyway, is freedom. Now, freedom has many different factors, but it cannot exist without truth and reason. Freedom of speech, freedom of thought, and freedom of action without harmful intent. Now, when Donald Trump first took office, even the right was concerned and even nervous about how it was going to play out. No matter how much the right tends to disagree with the left, there's always that troublesome worry that perhaps we might be wrong. And there's no denying that. Let's be reasonable here. Personally speaking, I wasn't a big fan of Trump at first. He just sort of grew on me after a while. The Trump administration faces many troublesome issues, but the left seems too preoccupied with trying to get him impeached, rather than really taking a look at what he's trying to do. Donald Trump seems like he's just words, but as a somewhat reasonable man myself, actions will always speak louder than words. Always. Now don't get me wrong, I'm pretty sure he cheated on his wife with a porn star. In fact, I'm pretty confident he's cheated on her consistently since their marriage. But I am not interested in a sex life nor his marriage. If you are interested in what he does between his own sheets, then perhaps you need a hobby or maybe a better day job. And no, I did not see grounds for dismissal when Clinton got impeached either. There were reasons for Clinton's impeachment, obviously, but cheating on his wife was just not one of them. Find me another job in the world where you can get fired for cheating on your wife. Good luck. It doesn't exist. What he does in the privacy of his own home, he can deal with the consequences on a personal level, because they are personal matters. What goes on in his marriage is none of our business. And you know what? They might have their own agreement going on. They might have an open marriage. They might have a sexless marriage. Who knows? We don't know this stuff because we're not them, and we can't just assume what goes on in their marriage. I care about real results in the real world, not shit that happens between the sheets, okay? What he has done for the country is imminent, and what has occurred in his bed is his own damn business. Let's all just agree on that and move on with this shit, honestly. Do I care about Russian collusion? If there was any real proof, maybe. But this has been no more than another nothing burger, and the left knows it. And they are not done beating that dead horse quite yet, so, stay tuned for that shit.
CNN constantly, Russia this, Russia that.
Because it's ratings.
Because it's ratings?
Our ratings are incredible right now.
But honestly, you think the whole Russia is just
could shit. I mean, it's mostly shit right now. We don't have any big giant proof. I just feel like they don't really have it, but they want to keep digging. Mm-hmm. And so I think the president is probably right to say, look, you are witch hunting me.
Do I care about improper use of Facebook ads during the campaign? Hell no! Because Facebook didn't check Trump's name on the damn ballot. People did. I don't like to assume that Americans are incapable of making their own decisions and coming to their own conclusions and voting for themselves. I don't want to assume that. That's not okay. Now, these voters may have been bombarded with ads for both the Clinton and the Trump campaign. But again, each American had the freedom to watch the debates to do their own research. Hillary Clinton likes to assume that any woman who voted for Trump was persuaded by their husbands. Think about that for a second. She assumes you're too stupid and weak-willed to fucking vote for yourself, ladies. Like your husband was allowed in the voting booth with you to, make sure you check Trump because that's the kind of household we have. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Come on. Let's be reasonable here. Again, I will press the actions speak louder than words. Last week, ISIS refused defeat, stating that their numbers have not diminished and they were stronger than ever. The world has seen record number drops in terrorist attacks since Trump took office, and ISIS is now running on fumes. This is the reality of it. Trump even stated that he was ready to bring the troops home, as the threat has now reached levels of sustainability that requires less and less American action. By bringing General Mattis on board, the terrorist organization has suffered immense losses, and despite what they might insist, have just about thrown in the towel. This is a victory that Obama simply could not accomplish. After 8 years of promising to bring the troops home, we watched excuse after excuse after excuse play out, as the left simply wouldn't admit that they have a weak fucking leader. A relatively decent guy as far as I know, I don't know him personally, but as far as I can see, he is a weak, shitty-ass fucking leader. One of Trump's first actions after being elected was the call to President Putin. Together, they vowed to work together to abolish ISIS and try their best to find common ground, which they have done for the most part. Even now, with the supposed chemical attack in Syria, he insisted on taking out the warehouses that held the weapons, to refrain from taking as little human life as possible. That's a pretty good president, if you ask me. The same can be said with taking out the airport when he first took office. He focuses on taking out terrorists' abilities rather than creating unnecessary collateral damage. Next, we hear they actually got King John to sit down and come to a peaceful resolution involving North Korea's threat to the rest of the world. Yeah, how the hell did he do that? For the first time, we have North Korea talking about denuclearization, something we thought we would never see. I bet you when Obama heard that, he was scratching his head pretty hard trying to figure out what the fuck just happened. Now, this week, we see him make peace with an old grudge. Now, what is this? What are these? Freedom fries, right? Freedom toast? American hated France so much that they renamed their damn food. Now, Trump dives face first into America's oldest and most complicated situations, making allies out of enemies. Can it not be more clear that Trump is aiming for world peace? Can the leftists not see this at all? This is a pivotal point in American history, and almost half the country is missing it completely because they're blinded by his less than politically correct behavior. You've taken your eyes off the prize, leftist. Open them. Open your damn eyes. If you honestly think that political correctness and proper behavior is more important than world peace, you deserve a leader like Obama. You can tell that to the countless American troops soon to be coming home to their families. Tell that to their wives, their husbands, and children when they learn that their loved ones may not be shipped home in a casket after all. Because Americans finally made the right choice in leadership. Finally. Yet these kids go to school every day and hear from their educational system how Trump is the worst president in American history. That's what's going on in today's school systems. Still, the leftist media bombards its viewers with pointless little factoids about his personality and scandals that only hold back the progress of peace. People, you are on the wrong side of history. You've allowed these leftist corporations to blind you from reality. That's what's happening here. You need to open your eyes. Snap the fuck out of it. Let's go. Get with the program. World peace is coming. At least that's what it looks like to me anyway, and to at least half the country. So maybe you should get with the program. Again, actions speak louder than words. And Trump's actions, despite how much of a sexual deviant he might be, or business scoundrel that he might be, is clearly the answer that America needed. He hires and surrounds himself with women, yet you call him a sexist pig. He makes deals and secures alliances with other nations, yet you call him a racist. He talks about building walls to keep out the gangs and drug cartels, and again you call him a racist, not realizing that illegal immigration is exactly that, illegal. With the South overrun with poverty and homelessness, imagine what it would be like to employ all these people, as countless job opportunities open up across the country. That's what's going to happen next if this wall is built. And yes, I do feel for those that are going to be deported, but their lives will not be over. Leftists act as though Trump is sending them to their deaths to a concentration camp or something. He's just sending them home. And if they want to come back, they can do it legally, like everybody else has to. Which means once they cross back over into America, later on, when they do it legally, they cannot have any connections to drug cartels or gang activity of any sort. This cleans up the streets for, the rest of America. How can you not see that? That also means that the good people, the ones that people are fighting for right now, like in California and stuff like that, will be coming back. Yeah, there are jobs in Mexico, people. Shit, 25% of the shit in your household is made in Mexico. Look around. They will be fine, and you will see them again once they come back over the border legally, if they don't have criminal records and shit like that. Obama made abortion a federal issue, taking the choice away from healthcare workers who don't believe in the practice in the first place. Since his election, more and more doctors and nurses are now moving back from Canada and other countries that actually gave people the freedom of choice in that certain category anyway. Abortion is now a state matter. If you can't hop on a train to get an abortion, then you don't fucking want it bad enough. The message to Americans is very simple. It's time to start being responsible for your actions and learning to wrap it up or take a pill like the rest of us. So let's sum up and look at this as a whole. So far, Trump doesn't want abortions to be a federal matter, but a state issue, not taking the choice solely out of the hands of Americans, but back in the hands of the medical professionals, the way it damn well should be. He destroyed ISIS, neutralizing countless amounts of terrorist attacks worldwide and saving thousands, maybe even more. He made peace with France, an ally turned bitter and hated, now an ally once more. He worked with what leftists have deemed to be the enemy and found common ground with an old rival, now turning bare minimum respected acquaintance. That's how it's done right there. And walked the fine line of neutralizing threat capabilities rather than taking lives. Undoing 8 years, even more, from the Obama and Bush administrations. He got North Korea to at least consider the thought of peace and nuclear disarming. He's trying to rid our streets of drugs and crime, hoping to no more than enforce the laws of the damn country. He brought steel back to the country, opening up record number employment opportunities across the board. Remind me again why you care that he cheated on his wife with Stormy Daniels, because I could fucking care less. Or the fact that he fired an FBI director that hid information from his president. Or bought Facebook ads for his campaign with his own damn money, instead of a criminal foundation like the Clintons. Why should anybody care if he called some Mexicans rapists and criminals? We all knew exactly what he meant. He meant the illegal criminals in the country, not every illegal immigrant. Everybody knew that. Leftist, you took what you wanted from it and rolled with it because you see hate everywhere you go. You have hate specs on, that's all you see is hate everywhere. You're sick and you need help. You simply want a reason to burn the flag and fight for absolutely nothing. Rights you already have or rights that you want to, take away from other people. I find it hilarious that most leftists walk hand in hand with atheism and evolution. They believe wholeheartedly in natural selection, but they absolutely insist that the weak need to inherit the earth. So much for survival of the fittest, huh? Anyway, that's all I have to say about today. If you like to read, I got a book. If you like to look at articles, I got a website. If you like coffee mugs and shirts and all that stuff, I got that stuff too. Check in the description for all that stuff. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. I'll see you next time, and take care.